So if you watch my personal rig update 2017, you'll know that I switched out my GTX 950 for an RX 480, and it was a great upgrade. But since that time, I've decided to switch back to Nvidia. And I want to start this video with a caveat that I really wanted this to work out. It was a great card, and it offered a lot of great performance, but it did not fit my use case. So let's start with the biggest thing that made me want to switch back to Nvidia. Hardware encoding, or shadow play. Shadow play always just worked. It was easy to change resolutions, it was easy to do anything because you could just press Alt-Z and the menu was responsive. But when I switched to AMD, Relive just does not work as well. The quality recording per megabyte looks pretty darn great compared to shadow play. The frame rate was always all over the place. Also, Relive was not usable within multi-monitor setups for me. Nothing I did could resolve this issue, and it made trying to record and record voice at the same time almost impossible. So now, speaking of multi-monitor setups, I use two 1080p screens and I may move up to 3. But scaling, like stretching a 4:3 or 16:10 ratio to 16:9 didn't work, or it was really buggy inside of a multi-monitor setup. Also, it was really annoying to set up with all the crazy options. It was hard to determine what was beneficial for me to use. Another gripe I have with AMD is their overclocking software, because I could not get MSI Afterburner to work with my AMD card. Wattman is an overclocking and monitoring software, but it was very annoying and not simple to use at all. MSI Afterburner has a simple readout and simple sliders that you can use, not a bunch of different buttons and profiles, and it's just really confusing if you didn't develop it or you haven't been using AMD. So I've said all that to say this. Pretty much all these problems have to do with driver support. Since I'm a content creator, I just want stuff to work. I don't want to have to haggle with it while I'm in the middle of creating a video, and that's what I had to do repeatedly with AMD. So during this whole mining craze, I did sell my RX 480, but I traded and got a GTX 970 and MSI branded one. But now I have shadow play, and I have dynamic super resolution and stuff that I like to use to make my videos look great. That's definitely not to say that I'm not going to miss some things about having that RX 480. More VRAM is definitely something I'm going to miss, especially for games like GTA, Shadow of Mordor, Arkham Knight. Those games love to eat up VRAM. I'm also going to be missing out on some performance in future games, with some optimizations from Vulkan and DX12. I am definitely going to miss the future fine wine capability of this graphics card. Old 7970s, 290Xs, 390Xs, they work really well just because of how AMD drivers mature, but it's sad that their drivers don't work as well right now. Lastly, I'm going to miss the better recording image that I get from Relive. It's not as good on the frame rate, and shadow play is a whole lot more flexible than it, but I'm going to miss that great individual frame image. So I'm going to leave you with some benchmarks comparing how the two graphics cards compete in the games that I like to play. Don't make your choice on what graphics card to buy solely on brand. That's pretty much what I did when I bought the AMD card, and I regret spending the money on it. I wish I just would have gone with a 1060 or bought like an older 970 at that point, but I didn't, and I learned my lesson from it. I really do want to give AMD a chance and use one of their cards in the future, but I think their drivers have to get better for me to do it. So that is why I switched from Nvidia to AMD and back again.